Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday morning medical Qigong practice. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm very grateful to see all of you. My name is Mary Frances, and I'm one of the Huawei's students. Today, it being Tuesday, we're going to be concentrating on the Basic Eight, and we've learned 3 exercises from the Basic Eight. We've learned the heart, small intestine exercise. We've learned the Sanjiao exercise, and we've learned the lung and large intestine exercise. So we're going to be focusing on those 3 exercises, as well as our warm-ups and our closing exercises. If you don't feel like you have to learn all of these all at once, mainly they're here for you to enjoy and to breathe through. And we're going to start out with our circular breathing exercise to warm up. It's more of a mental, still medical Qigong exercise. It has a lot of wonderful benefits. It is the traditional or the classic start to the Basic Eight. And maybe you want to take a moment to recognize it's a little bit like cross-training. Medical Qigong is a little bit like cross-training. Because our minds work so hard for us throughout the day, we're going to give them permission for the next 30 minutes or so, a little less now, to relax and to kind of recharge, and by that, letting go. So we're going to try and let go of the mind for a little bit so that it can take a rest and then be ready to go once we're done. So we're going to open up. The channels are going to be evenly distributed between the front of the body and the back of the body, with the feet parallel. We don't want the toes turning inward to compress the front. If the toes are outward, they're compressing the channels in the back. So for this exercise, they're going to be parallel. The tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. That's creating a greater connection between the front of the body and the back of the body. We're bringing our mind's eye to the bottoms of the feet, allowing them to spread into the earth, relaxing into the earth, softening the knees, relaxing the low back, allowing the tailbone to drop just a little bit, creating some space in that lumbar spine, relaxing the shoulders, softening the jaw, and then allowing the very top of the head to reach up into the sky. Next, we're going to allow just a little bit of space underneath the armpits, between the arms and the torso, so that the chi can more easily circulate. And we're going to close our eyes, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose, we're guiding the breath in the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling down to the perineum, the very bottom of the torso. Inhaling all the way up to the big spine point. Exhaling to the center of the palms. We're going to continue working on this circular route, inhaling to the lower dantian, that's 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. Exhaling to the perineum, the lowest point of the torso. Inhaling all the way up to the big spine point, that's about thoracic vertebra 1. And then exhaling to the palms. Inhaling, lower dantian, 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. Exhaling to the perineum, which is the lowest aspect of the torso. Inhaling all the way up to the big spine point. And exhaling to Lao Gong at the center of the palms. Inhaling, lower dantian. Exhaling, the perineum. Inhaling, big spine point. Exhaling to the palms. Continuing on the circular route. Relaxing into the breath. Allowing the breath to help guide the flow of energy. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Relaxing into this exercise. Allowing the mind intent to stay with the circular route. Allowing the body to relax into the breath. And allowing the chi to flow freely through this circular route. Connecting the front of the body with the back of the body. The upper elements with the lower elements. Nourishing the organ systems within the body. And if the mind starts wandering away, just gently guiding it back. Letting it know that all it has to do right now is relax into the breath. Relax into the circular route. And just rest here for a few moments. About one more circular round. And when you're ready, gently opening the eyes, keeping your gaze of soft focus. So not focusing on anything in particular. And releasing the arms, closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. That same mind intent, we're going to work on our lung and large intestine exercise from the Golden 8. It's the first one. We're opening, the feet are hip width, shoulder width distance. A little wider is okay. Not too much wider on this exercise. Rolling shoulders forward, bring the backs of the hands together. We're inhaling. Exhaling. Palms are facing the earth. And the palms face behind you. Inhaling, dragging them up the back of the body. Rotating the wrists so the palms are facing the sky. Exhaling. Extending out in front of you. Palms are now facing the earth. Claws. Inhaling as we sink at the knees. Releasing the hands. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. From here, you're going to continue on with the exercise, using your own breath rate to guide the movements. Allowing the breath and the movement to harmonize. Allowing the breath and the movement to work with each other, inform one another. And allowing the mind to sink further into the exercise. About one more. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our heart, small intestine exercise, opening. Once again, the feet start out parallel, and they're a little wider or at hip width, shoulder width apart. We're gathering our strong claws in front of the lower dantian. Inhaling, flipping the hands, flipping the feet, exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Continuing on at your own pace, keeping the claws strong throughout the exercise, unless, of course, it causes pain. Allowing the breath to draw forth the movement. Tip of the tongue is still touching the roof of the mouth. And getting ready to close. Releasing the claws and the arms, closing. We're moving to our Sanjiao exercise next. Inhaling as we elevate the palms, allowing the palms to face the sky underneath the shoulders. Exhaling fully, sinking at the knees, stepping out. Inhaling, gazing at the tip of the middle finger. Exhaling as we come back, sinking at the knees. Inhaling. Exhaling. Continuing on, using your breath to guide the speed and rate of the movement. Allowing each movement to flow into the next. Once again, we're relaxing into the movement, relaxing into the breath, allowing the mind to relax into the exercise. About one more time on each side. And closing. Keeping the feet together. We're going to bring the palms together. Transferring some of that energy that we've been cultivating over the past 25 minutes to the palms. Washing the face 9 times. Wiping the brow and underneath the eye 9 times each. Maybe adding a little extra pressure as long as it's not painful. I think that's about 9 times. Wiping up and down the nose 9 times. our circles inward and outward at the bottom of the nose, middle and upper aspects, adding a little bit of pressure if it feels good to you to help really move blood and qi, activating the points, which in turn help activate the tissues and the channels. I'm not doing very well with my counting this morning, so maybe use your own counting. We're going to imagine underneath the pupil at the cheekbone, there's a small divot, inward and outward. And then dredging the channels of the scalp using your fingers. Once again, maybe using a little extra pressure to really feel yourself dredging those channels of the scalp. Beating the drum 9 times. Grasping the ears 9 times using all 5 fingertips. And then popping the cork. One fingertip on the philtrum, the other on the mandibular crease, inward and outward. Massaging the jaw. Allowing the turn of the head to be the motivating factor of the massaging. Once again, it's 9 times each side, and once again, I have no idea what number I'm on. I've been talking too much. So our number is going to change to 12 times total, or 6 times each side. We're going to look up, drawing the energy down from the head, brushing down the throat, and then continuing on down the breastbone, 12 times total, or 6 times each side. Bringing the palms to the lower dantian. We're circling up the right and down the left 9 times. We're gathering the energy that we've been cultivating into the lower dantian. And then switching directions 9 times. Here we're concentrating that energy. And after 9 times, resting the palms of the lower dantian, closing the eyes. Inhaling through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi of the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of your day. Inhaling, using the mind intent, the mind's eye, to draw the breath and the chi to that lower dantian, allowing it to fill up. And exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store so that it may be utilized for the rest of your day. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace, allowing the mind to relax, the body to relax, and allowing the chi to settle and store. Thank you so very, very much, everyone. Henry? Henry? Yay, Henry! Mary.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, the buttons were a little bit hard to push today for some reason. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Mary Frances, for leading the practice this morning with the Basic Eight. So we're really coming along with that exercise series. Today we're going to talk about, we've been talking a lot about 5 elements, interaction with the different 5 elements, the control cycle, the generating cycle. So how do we apply this to ourselves, right? So I want to do a little bit more in-depth look at each of the elements and how we can generate more or try to shave off some to control it a little bit better. So we've learned through the different Qi chats 3 different ways that you can address a particular element. Okay, one is you can address the element directly, meaning like you can, if you need more wood element, we can tackle the wood element directly, like do wood related Qigong exercises, do things that are, surround yourself with wood people. But then we also learn the 2 additional ways, for the generating cycle and the control cycle. So for the generating cycle, we're looking at the element before. Basically, what we say is the parent or mother element. In the case of wood, that would be the water element. So water generates wood. So you could also address any wood-related issues through addressing the water. So that's for the generating cycle. And then there's also a control cycle, which is 2 elements before. And that, in this case, if you look at wood, then that would be the metal element. So the metal controls the wood. So now you have 3 different methods, because sometimes one method may not work. It may not be as effective. So you may want to try the other 2 methods, or you can try all 3 together. Okay, so now you have more than one. It's like you have a toolbox, right? You don't have just a Phillips screwdriver. Now you have maybe like a hex wrench and a flathead screwdriver to work with. Okay, so in Chinese medicine, because not everyone responds the same way, so you want to figure out what works best for you. So in terms of wood, and we're looking at ourselves now, what does wood mean, right? So in terms of like emotions, we're looking at the emotions of anger and passion. They go together. So if you really want to have like a lot of passion in your life, you want to have a lot of drive in what you do, you need to also embrace your anger side too. And some of us may have too much of that. Okay, so the quintessential wood personality type is someone who's really type A, someone who is very, in a way, self-directed, but they're also quite, they're not complicated. So it's like you go from point A to point B, all right? Very simple, okay? You don't try to have too many different permutations of things. Also tend to be more the workaholic, someone who's really honed in and focused in on things. So you can see these things can be gifts in certain situations, but they can also be challenges in other situations, because some situations are a bit more complex. And if you try to do it the wood way, it may not be nuanced enough to really address an issue. And sometimes, like, going into like your work, there's other realms of who we are as people, like the emotional side, the spiritual side. So the wood's really good at honing in on one thing. So, but some of us have too much of that, so we need to kind of shave it back. And so we need to use some metal to help us with that. So help us trim the wood, help us focus the wood, help the wood from getting too strong, okay? And others of us, we need more wood because maybe we have difficulty making decisions in life. That's a really common one. Like you can't decide, oh, what should I do, all right? Or like you just can't get enough motivation to finish your task. Maybe you're really good at starting stuff, you have a lot of great ideas, and then like somewhere along the way, you kind of lose focus, you lose that drive to finish it. Okay, so that's also a very wood gift if you need that. Yeah, some of us we get distracted easily. We have a lot of things on our plate. And for those of us that have that, you know, the wood element is also very good for us to hone in. So in that case, if you are what we say deficient in wood or need more wood, then you want to look at the generating cycle, and that's coming from the water. All right. So how does that, like, understanding how that interaction works in real life? It's like when you have a purpose, right? So there's a wisdom. So water is about wisdom, and when you have that wisdom connected with your wood, then it helps drive the wood. It gives it purpose, so that when you're doing a task, your task has more meaning than just, okay, well, I'm just going to screw in this nail into this wall. Okay, so on one hand, that's a very simple motivation, right? You're just screwing in the nail to, but then maybe you have a larger motivation behind it. There's a wisdom behind it. Maybe you're screwing this nail in the wall so that you have a more comfortable life in your house. You know, everyone's going to enjoy the place a lot better. Maybe this is something that you have to do in order to accomplish some other task. So there's like a higher meaning to what you're doing. And that's the water that's going to fuel the wood. So that's what you're looking for when you do that. So how do you generate, you know, create more water to fuel the wood? Is, you know, a lot of meditation practices. Basically giving yourself some time to think things over, really understand the bigger things in life. So that's water. So that'll help fuel your wood. Like same thing with making decisions. You have trouble making decisions. If you have a higher meaning to things, it really allows you to really hone in real quick, because you understand your why in your life. And that why is helping from the water side. So that's why all these elements, they don't exist alone. They can, you know, with the wood, it can really benefit from the metal if it's too much wood, and could benefit from the water if it's too little wood. But regardless if it's too little or too much, the wood itself, you can treat. So that's like hanging out, right, with people who are really wood type A personalities. They'll rub off on you. So that's a really important thing to do. So you can wanna maybe go to like sports events, and that like competitive spirit, that drive, maybe, you know, watching some documentaries like that will help you too. Doing wood exercises. So in terms of that, so, you know, the liver gallbladder exercise is very important. Okay, so that gives you some ideas. And look at these are all gifts and challenges. So some of us are naturally born with more wood than others. So some of us maybe like we're 70% wood or 90% wood. And some of us like may have no wood. We have like 1%. And in only like very specific situations can we really pull it out. So the trick is to be able to utilize these different gifts when you need them, and to be able to turn them off or let them go when you don't. So all of us have a different proportion of these different amounts. But if wood is what you need at the moment, then use the control cycle, use the generating cycle, and use the element itself to help you. Okay, hopefully that gives you some good clarity on what wood means. EDS, who here is a wood person I can hang out with? I think some of them may have revealed themselves in, you know, conversations and also the self quizzes. Christina asks, is there a resource to help supplement this chat? Yes, so I learned a lot of my 5-element relationship stuff. And relationship, I mean like relationship with yourself, relationship with other people, not just romantic relationships, but it does apply to that also. I learned a lot of my 5-element relationship stuff from Patricia McCarthy. She does a lot of what we say face reading. It's a Chinese art of face reading. So it's heavily based in 5-element theory. And she does a really great job of connecting 5 elements with personalities, with our individual gifts and challenges. So it's not just about the face, it's about like who we are. And so her book, I think I've shown a couple of times here, but it's called the face reader. I know it sounds kind of hokey, but that's what I thought too when I first started learning from her. I was like, what is this stuff? Is this going to be some circus show? You know, she's going to tell me my life and kind of, you know, some secrets about who I am. But it's a lot more than that. It's about like knowing yourself. It's about understanding and embracing your gifts and your challenges, and how you can relate to other people. And I find it immensely useful in my life, mostly to understand myself. When we look at gifts and challenges, it's not static, right? We evolve, we change. Life experience also changes us. And so it's not like a predestined kind of thing, like you're doomed a certain way if you're 70% wood and 30% fire, and that's all you're going to ever be. It's not like that at all. But in order to evolve and change in a way that you want to shape it, you have to understand who you are right now. And then you can help tweak that and send yourself in the direction you want. A couple more chat things I want to just pull up. Oh yeah, okay. Yes, so face reader, Patricia McCarthy. There's an electronic version you can almost instantly access if you buy it like through Amazon, or there's also a used book as well you can get. There you go. Thanks, Mary Frances. But immensely helpful. She's incredibly intuitive and just a really amazing person too. So she's not teaching as much these days, unfortunately. But I wish to be able to bring her on someday to just chat with us a bit as well and talk about the 5 elements. Okay, I think that's a long enough chat for today. So I'm gonna focus in on the other elements in the next series of Chi Chats. So today we talked a lot about wood and how we can generate more wood or shave down our wood. So tomorrow we'll probably talk about fire. Okay, so thank you. Have a good day. See you then.